Hi, my name is Benjamin Katz and welcome back to the 4-Day Ice Cream Review, where today I'm at Ampersand Ice Cream in Fresno, California, trying the two flavors, Whiskey Caramel Swirl and Tomato and Sage. Let's get started with the Whiskey Caramel Swirl. It almost tastes like you're eating a fat-washed whiskey with a caramel swirl, all in an ice cream that has a delightful texture. Regardless of the alcohol content, which usually makes ice cream a bit more icy, this is smooth and creamy and rich. It's almost as though the ice cream is fat washed in the whiskey, or the whiskey just came out fat washed. I don't know, but this flavor feels like it was made for me. It's simple, it's light, it's not like complicated in the mix-in sense, but the flavors that are presented on the palate have a certain harmony about them that creates a larger sense of depth than what one would otherwise think. I'm always a fan of sugar, sweet, dairy, and alcohol mixing together, and this is a very good flavor. Let's move next to the tomato and sage. I don't think I've actually had a tomato-based ice cream yet, so I'm curious to see how this turns out. Dear viewer, I think Ampersand ice cream may have been made by me in a parallel universe, or I have time traveled back to create this 3-store local chain focused on small batch, locally made ice cream. With good pricing, a great vibe, and a corner store next to a park and a library? Come on, how do you get better than that? And the ice cream is delicious. This tomato and sage is so unique. And yet the flavors of tomato and the flavors of sage are shining. It's weird to say, but it's almost like having a lasagna, but in an ice cream, and not in a bad way. Sure, I don't think a child would like this because it's probably not suited for that kind of palate, but it's still sweet, but it has those savory notes, and the herbiness is coming through surprisingly strong, even though, you know, frozenness is supposed to diminish some of those herby flavors. I don't know how they're doing it, but like, there's actual tomato in here, and it tastes delicious. I mean, I've had tomato-based desserts before, and they're always good, so I don't know why I'm so surprised. Tomato soup is delicious. That's dairy and pureed tomato. Why is this a shocker? It is such a non-thinker. No one would think to do this, and yet it works so well. Oh my god, and I didn't even think of this. This tomato is not icy. You would think, because tomatoes have such high water content, the tomato in here would be practically, crunchable, but no. It's almost as though they candied the tomato before putting the water-rich fruit into the ice cream. God, this is... I need to calm down. This is very good, and I don't want to come off as biased, but genuinely they're ticking off practically every box. I also like how they scoop the ice cream. While I do prefer ice cream scoops to be a bit more large looking and feeling, they essentially created two very even, very round spheres of ice cream and placed them in the bowl. I think I do prefer more of a hodgepodge style that makes it look a bit fuller and that makes the bowl look a bit more presentable, but for the clean community aesthetic that they're going for, I think it works for them. Okay, let's try the two flavors together, see what happens. Do I need to make a tomato caramel now? It's not, okay, it's not the best thing I've ever tasted, sure, but it works surprisingly well. Like, both of the flavors individually work so well, I can't call the combination better than either of the other two. But the combination of these two flavors is better than a lot of other plain ice creams that I've had. It's almost as though the tomato adds that complexity to caramel, almost as though you're eating a bit of a roasted, Maillard reacted tomato. And the bourbon is adding that extra little bit of, alcoholic kick to make it, to cut through the sweetness and make it taste better on the palate. yeah, I'm kind of shocked at how many boxes Ampersand ice cream is taking for me. They have practically half their flavors are monthly rotating flavors that all look cool and interesting. I chose the tomato and sage. That looked the coolest. I wanted to try one of their regulars, one of their seasonals. It's a 3-location spot only in Fresno, California. They seem like they intentionally chose this location. It's right on the corner next to a park. There's outdoor seating, there's plant life. I'm sitting in arguably the worst spot because I don't want to be intrusive to anyone else. There's indoor seating, there's outdoor seating, there's a library next door. You're in a community. This is literally a neighborhood we're in that just has a corner of commerce with, 2 or 3 small shops along it. It's a spectacular location for an ice cream store that is focused on, local flavors. And they're not even charging that much for premium either. It was $6.50 for a double. Sure, it was about as much ice cream as I would usually get in a single, but still, I would pay $6.50 for a single of this any day of the week. And so that brings me to my closing thoughts. After having reviewed almost 200 ice cream shops now, it takes something special to stand out. And Ampersand ice cream has that something special. It's a local shop, a small chain in Fresno, focused specifically on location and on locality and on quality of ice cream. It was $6.50 for this double, which was a bit small, but the perfect size for an after-dinner snack. Their hours are viable, their customer service is friendly, their storefront is quaint and adorable. I love Ampersand ice cream. This is really one of the standouts of my entire journey, and I would absolutely come here again. I would come back to Fresno just for this. If you like this video and want to see more like it, consider subscribing, or go to findfieldsmarketing.com for more on the journey. Thank you.